right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, call like my Elohim, Yahweh, Bashim, Al-Shai, Bashim, Harakak, I want to give double honors to the apostle of great millstone, who will teach well, and a hearty shalom to the elect. Or it's your brother Karate is back with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bashim, Al-Shai. And this article came out a couple of weeks ago, but it's still relevant, okay? And I'm going to show you why here in a minute that it's relevant. It says as global tensions escalate amid threats of nuclear war from Russia's President Vladimir Putin, Newsweek has looked at the impact of Russia's nuclear weapon on various U.S. cities and their surroundings. All right, it says in September, Putin lowered the threshold of nuclear weapon used by saying Russia would consider the possibility of using nuclear weapons when receiving reliable information about a massive launch of means of aerospace attack and their crossing out of our state border. And this all stemmed from Joe Biden allowing Ukraine to use American-made missiles and launching them into Russia, okay? All right. It says this includes strategic and tactical aircraft and as well as cruise missiles and drones, hypersonic and other delivery vehicles. Russia reserved the right to use nuclear weapons in case of aggression, including if the enemy using conventional weapons pose a critical threat. Newsweek used maps produced by Alex Wellerstein, a professor. He might be one of them ish people with that because of that last name. A professor, a historian of nuclear technology, to assess the impact what would be if Moscow attacked with R-36M2, known as SS-18 Satan, one of the largest and most powerful intercontinental ballistic missiles ever built. It can yield the equivalent of 20 megatons, 20,000 kilotons of TNT explosive, and has the range of up to 10,000 miles. All right, so imagine one of those, two of those, 10 of those coming over here. All right, it's going to do a lot of damage, okay? So I'm assuming these numbers are just from one, okay? It says an estimated of 1 million, about a million and a half people would die in Washington, 5 million, all right, in New York, and almost 3 million people in Los Angeles. The fireball radius in inner yellow circle in which everything would be vaporized by intense heat, ranging to millions of degrees, would reach around 15.1 square miles. All right, let me get some scriptures instead of just sitting here reading. All right, I'm going to come back to that. This is 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 10. It says, "But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up." All right, you're reading that it's 20,000 kilotons or megatons, or 20 megatons, which is 20,000 kilotons of TNT. All right, it says it's going to have intense heat up to millions of degrees Fahrenheit, okay? And I had looked it up some time ago, where it said a nuclear blast it gets up to 100 million degrees Celsius, all right? I think that was just about as hot as the sun, okay? But this million degrees of Fahrenheit reaching 15 miles, all right, square miles, not sure how big that is, it's going to kill a lot of people, okay? These are just estimations. All right, these are just estimations. We don't know what the Lord is going to actually do in regards to the death of many people or how they're going to die, right? From the initial impact and the after effects, okay? But nonetheless, it says the more moderate blast damage radius inner circle covers 422 square miles of the blast would destroy residential buildings and probably cause widespread fires. Anyone within 2,360 square miles of the explosion, the thermal radius wider orange circle would be at risk of suffering third-degree burns throughout the skin, often painless because they destroy the pain nerves, which can cause severe scarring, disablement, and require amputation. Right? These missiles are going to have the wrath of the Lord in them. Okay. Let's see. And you can read in certain instances where it says the Lord is consuming fire. I think that's in Hebrews. All right, or where it says that the Lord's anger waxed hot against Israel for idolatry. Where the Lord's anger is going to wax hot against Babylon and America, and it's going to be great. Let's see. This is too broad. All right, this is a good one. This is Isaiah 13:9. Behold, the day of Yahweh Bashim Al cometh cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. Okay. We're reading about what the gray area is going to do. It's going to leave the land desolate. All right. It says here, with the light damage radius, wider gray circle, 3,490 square miles from the blast. Glass windows should be expected to break, which can cause injuries. But let's go up here. I thought I read something about it destroying buildings. Yep, up here. Okay, in a 422 mile square radius, it would destroy buildings. All right, buildings being destroyed is part of desolation. The land being burnt up is part of desolation, and it's going to come from the wrath of the Lord. Okay, and he's gonna destroy the sinners out of it. All right, with his wrath and his fierce anger. All right, and you don't want to be caught up in that. I think it's Hebrews 13. Oh, it's Hebrews 12. And it's in Deuteronomy. It says, Deuteronomy 4:24, for Yahweh thy power is a consuming fire, even a jealous power. It says here in Hebrews 12:29, for our power is a consuming fire. All right, so the Lord's a consuming fire. Let's look this up. Let's look and see what that means. We know that fire consumes and burns everything that's within it, all right, or within this realm. Look at what is happening in California right now, as far as I think it's where Pepperdine University is in Malibu. The Lord got that place on fire, man. Okay. All right. The word consuming is to consume of fire. All right. Bam. Look at that, of fire. Consume utterly. That's what the Lord Yahweh Shem outside is going to do to this place. All right. And fire. We know fire just to be an element that the Lord's going to use to judge America. Okay, but let's see what it says. It just says fire. All right. The word of the Lord is fire. All right. But continuing on, it says in the U.S. Capitol, where in any given 24-hour period there would be 6 million people in the full blast of the range, all four circles of the simulated detonation. 1 million, almost 2 million would die. 2 million, all right, would sustain injuries. The firebar radius include Capitol Hill. All right, look at that. Look at that. You see that? People gonna die, man. All right. That's why we gotta fear the Lord. It says in New York, in 24 hours, 16 million people are gonna die. All right, and an estimate of 5 million people will die, and 5 million will suffer from injuries. The light blast would extend to Brunswick and Stanford. There you go. Look at that. It's going to be horrible. And the Lord's going to have these missiles hitting all over America. All right. It says Los Angeles, some 2 million people would die and 4 million would be injured in a 24-hour period. There are on average 12 million people in the full blast of range of all four circles. All right, and just look at the map. Pause and look at the map on your own. It says here in Lake Michigan, it says in a 24-hour period, 7 million people, almost 8 million people in a full blast of the simulated detonation. There would be about almost 2 million fatalities and 2.5 million injuries. All right, why does it keep doing this? All right, down here in Texas, in Houston, all right, it's and 5 million people in the full blast range, and about 1.2 million would die, and almost 2 million would sustain injuries. All right, and that's in Houston. All right, you got Phoenix. Almost 1 million people would die, and almost 1.5 million would suffer injuries. In a 24-hour period, about almost 4 million people are gonna be affected by that full blast. And then Philadelphia, you see the numbers. Okay, look at the area for Phoenix. All right, the wrath of the Lord is going to come upon this place. San Antonio, look at the numbers. All right. San Diego, look at the numbers. Look at Dallas. And wherever the Lord has brothers, Lord will they be safe in these trying times, okay? Let's look at the context and get some scriptures. It says there is currently much talk about nuclear war as conflict escalates between U.S. and its NATO allies and Russia over the Ukraine war. It says Russian President Vladimir Putin recently signed an updated nuclear doctrine into law, which emphasizes that Russia will make all necessary efforts to reduce the threat. Reduce the threat and aims to prevent escalating tensions between states could lead to military conflict, including nuclear ones. It also says that nuclear deterrence shall also ensure an understanding by a potential adversary of the inevitability of retaliation in the event of aggression against Russian Federation or its allies. All right, so the Lord's going to have Russia destroy America, China's going to destroy America, India, Iran, okay, and wherever else the Lord puts in the minds of these people's spirits to jump out and destroy America. All right, let's get Malachi 4. All right, this is Malachi 4:1. It says, "For behold, the day comes that shall burn as an oven." And you see, just through the simulation, or just through the just through the simulation, all right, that they showed, there's gonna be millions of people that die. Okay. It says that that day shall for behold the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble, and that day shall and the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith Yahweh of hosts, and that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. So it's gonna destroy their whole family line, okay? Nothing's gonna be able to grow, all right, out of all the people that are dead and dying or going to die, okay? I'm gonna read it in the Amplified Version. It says, for behold the day is coming burning like a furnace, and all the arrogant, proud, self-righteous, haughty, all right, and every evildoer shall be stubble. And the day that is coming shall set them on fire. It's going to set them on fire. They're going to be people running around here on fire. Okay? Says Yahweh of hosts, so it will leave them neither root nor branch. All right, and this reminded me of Revelation 21, because it's going to tell you what the evil is that people do. This is Revelations 21:7. He that shall inherit all things, he that overcometh shall inherit all things, and I will be his power, and he shall be my son. All right? And that's the mindset that you want. All right? You want to be able to overcome. But here goes acts of evildoers, as we just read in Malachi 4:1. These are things that evildoers will do, and this is what they're going to get. It says, but the fearful, the unbelieving, and the abominable, and murderers, and whoremongers, and sorcerers, and idolaters, and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. All right, well, we just read in Malachi 4:1 that they're gonna be set on fire. All right, well, that's the second death. These thermonuclear missiles, the weapons of the Lord. I'm going to read in the Amplified Version. It says, but as for the cowards, the unbelieving, and abominable, who are devoid of character and personal integrity, and practice or tolerate immorality, and murderers and sorcerers with intoxicating drugs, and idolaters and occultists who practice to teach false religions, and all the liars who knowingly deceive and twist the truth, their part will be in the lake that blazes with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. And that was a little bit more descriptive on the characteristics of the evildoers, all right? But you don't want to be a part of that, all right? Let's get Jeremiah 50. This is Jeremiah 50 and 25, as soon as I get there. It says that Yahweh hath opened his armory and has brought forth the weapons of his indignation, for this is the work of Yahweh of hosts, Yahweh power of hosts in the land of the Chaldeans. And look right here, all of these, this simulation, all right, this map simulation, all right, is showing you the work of the Lord. These numbers are showing you the work of the Lord, but it's going to be way more drastic than what man can imagine, okay? It's going to be way more drastic than that. It says 26. Oh, let me look at this word weapons right quick, because there's a one word I saw in here that really stuck out to me. All right, the word is Kali.
Strong's H3627. Kelly.
All right, look at this. It says artillery. All right, artillery. All right, these thermonuclear weapons is the Lord's artillery. Okay. It says artillery, large caliber guns used in warfare on land. All right, look at this. Look at this artillery launching weapon. I can't remember what it was called, like a howitzer or something like that. But the Lord has his artillery, all right? It's weapons, it's arrows, It's mentioned as arrows in the scriptures. Thermonuclear missiles. All right. I'm going to keep reading. It says, this is Jeremiah 15:26. Come against her from the uttermost border and open her storehouses, cast upon her heaps, and destroy her utterly. Let nothing of her be left. And that's what's going to happen, man. All right, verse 26. There's nothing going to be left of Babylon. Isaiah 34 tells you what's going to happen. And I believe it's also in Revelation 18. It says, slay all her bullocks. Let them go down to the slaughter. Woe unto them, for their day is come, the time of their visitation. All right. I'm going to read this in 27 in the Amplified Version. It says, kill all her young bulls, her strength, her young men. All right, the men of war. All right. 2 Ezra 13 tells you what the Lord's going to do to those people. It says, let them come down to the slaughter. Woe, judgment is coming to the Chaldeans, for their day has come. All right, and we're going to see it. We're going to see it. Lord will be those men that endure to the end. Lord will is edified to the next time. Shalom.